There's not a report from that. But, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the February the 8th, 2024 Town of Pippin's Council meeting. I'd like to call the meeting to order. The first item on the agenda this evening is a motion to adopt the January 11th, 2024 council meeting minutes. Can I get a seconder, please? Second by Derek, Councilor Derek House. Any discussion?
She's asking to move.
I did. Or Deputy Mayor DM, you can call me.
Dr. DM.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion carried. Second item on the agenda, we need a motion to adopt February 8th, 2024 council meeting agenda. Make a motion. Motion by Councillor Troy Duffy. The seconder, Councillor Earl Barrett. Any discussion? No discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion carried. Are we reading them too fast, Josie? Yes. Third item is the adoption of a resolution to amend our budget from 2024. Bear with me while I find the page. And this item here. Or amending the budget. Talk amongst yourselves.
No, we just gotta admit it. It's supposed to be originally printed out of Metro. You go from the last time. It's all.
Very on the only stuff there's something you like here. Nope, I got it. So we're making an amendment to resolution 110/23, and the resolution reads resolution 110/23, resolution by Councillor E. Barrett, seconded by Councillor D. House. Be it hereby resolved to approve the budget for 2024 in the amount of $2,235,127 as prepared. And there will be no increase in taxes. The previous motion was voted on. All those in favor of amending the motion to resolution? Aye. Reminded? The resolution is carried. Next item on the agenda is a motion to adopt the January 15th and January 21st recreation meeting minutes. You get a motion? Councillor Derek House, the motion, and then the seconded Councillor Vince McGraw, second. Any discussion? I'm sure you've all thoroughly read the minutes, both meetings. All those in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion carried. Under new business, there's
Invoices.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That was under.
Sort of
Out of place, yes. The next item is the approval of invoices for December the 23rd in the amount of $101,764.11. Councillor Barrett, can you speak to that?
That's not right.
What's not right?
That's not December 2023, that's January 2024. Month of January.
You're right.
Oh,
It's written number on it. Yeah. Just make it.
Okay.
Well,
Invoices for January.
Here,
Yeah.
Terrible.
would you like to reread the motion there, Councillor Barrett?
Anyway, I moved that the invoices in the amount of $101,764.11 for the month of January 2024 be approved.
Seconder?
Second.
Seconded by Councillor Derek House. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion passed. Now under new business, there's a proposal for an extension of deadline for tax payments to April the 30th, 2024.
Yeah, I'll speak to that for a second.
Thank you.
The budget, although we submitted it to municipal affairs way ahead of time, and thanks to the staff and everybody for making sure that it was in on time, they did delay approval of budget until last week. pretty well last week before we got approval. So, of course, our invoices were all prepared and sent to be sent out, but they could not be released until the approval of the budget came back. So that was a full month that people didn't know exactly what they had to pay. There was no increase in the tax rates, but people's job, they see some difference because of the assessment that was done last year. Some went up, some went down. So the amount wasn't like it was last year. It's a little bit different. So we thought it would be only fair that we at least give people 3 months so that, you have until the 30th of April to pay your taxes. Now, we certainly appreciate anybody can pay them before the end of March, but if circumstances don't allow, then we would be willing to look at till April 30th. So I'd like.
So there'd be no interest charged.
No interest.
until
No
after
interest charged until after April 30th.
So this is also delay a transfer of treasury, full treasury over to a new account.
Oh, no, that's not, that's okay.
Okay.
That's not a problem. This is strictly the fact that people didn't know exactly what they had to pay until pretty well this past week. So we just giving people, about 3 months, same as they would have in any other normal year.
It's just an extension.
Yeah.
Would you like to put that in the form of a motion, Councillor?
So I make a motion that the extension of deadline for tax payments be April 30th, 2024 this year.
You heard the motion by Councillor Derek House that there be an extension of deadline for tax payments to April 30th, 2024. Can I get a seconder? Councillor Vince McGraw, second. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Contrary minded? Motion carried. We have a series of donations that have come in. Just someone like to speak to those.
Yeah, okay, Rotary Music Festival is seeking a donation for the 47th annual Rotary Music Festival, which will be March the 19th to 23rd of 2024. And we are seeking approval to donate $200, which is about the same as what the last time we paid. It was a few years ago, but I think it was the last donation we made was $200. So I'm asking for approval to donate $200 to the Rotary Music Festival for this year.
Okay, so can you put that in the form of a motion, Councillor House?
I make a motion that Town of Kiffins donate $200 to the Rotary Music Festival for their music festival for March of this year.
Seconder for that motion? Councillor Vince McGraw, second. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Contrary minded?
One thing I didn't notice is they're actually gonna put our logo, use our logo in, I guess, in the advertisement. That's, I think that's the problem in last year. Our logo wasn't gonna be used, so.
Good.
Yeah.
So we will get a little bit of branding on there.
Yeah.
Excellent.
That's a good cause.
Absolutely.
It is.
Nice to see it coming back.
Yeah.
Okay. Councillor Hips.
We also have a request from the Stephenville Historical Society for a donation. They have things, different events throughout the year. This past year, they had a silent auction and annual tea. This year, you're having a royalty in honor of the late Queen Elizabeth. They completed last year the Canadian National Military Exhibit, finalized an exhibit featuring artwork of renowned Newfoundland artist Lloyd Pretty. Hired 3 students through summer jobs program and provincial summer jobs program, and hosted 2 nights at the museum events during the Friendly Invasion, with this year's themes being 50s and 60s in Paradise of the North. So normally we donate $500, so I'm making a motion that the Town of Kiffins donate $500 to the Stephenville Historical Society to be used for these and other events this year.
So this is for operation of the museum, I think, primarily, isn't it? Which is obviously a good cause for tourism.
You heard the motion by Councillor Derek House. Do we have a seconder? seconder, Councillor Brian House. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Contrary-minded? Motion carries.
We have one further one, I think it is. Yeah, Steamboat Taekwondo. This year on August 23rd and 24th, they're celebrating 50 years of Taekwondo in the Steamboat Bay and Georgia area. And as part of the celebration, the club is hosting a 2-day event that includes seminars, black belt testing, and an awards banquet. We're expecting some 200 Taekwondo past and present club members to be in attendance for this prestigious event. So they are seeking funds from local organizations and local councils to help with the cost. They estimate that it's going to cost about $13,000 to put off the event. So they're looking for donation, of course, from the town of Gibbons to help with this costing. So I'm opening it for discussion as where
I don't think we should be supporting a banquet. Events, stuff like that, for all the people, I agree with. But this is for a select few. And I mean, we said, put money in for banquets. Who's next?
So is this a non-profit organization or is it a private business?
I think they're classified through the YMCA now. So I'm assuming that means also means non-profit. They were a private club, I guess, for a while, but they are gone now that YMCA is taken over. They are through the YMCA.
Well, there's still membership fees and all that, wouldn't there?
I'm not sure, whatever.
Personally, I wouldn't see us making a huge donation. I realize that there's touting some pretty big expenses, and there's Councilor McGraw points out a lot of it is related to a banquet and a ceremony that's going ahead. I would think for the most part, we would expect that to be an attendee pay or a user pay situation, but I don't know. I could look towards maybe a lesser amount as a nominal amount if we were going to get maybe some publicity and
So we could put consideration forward for a donation to support the event itself, but not so much necessarily the banquet, just overall, just a general operation of the event.
And what would be the pleasure of council? What will be a number that would be?
Well, I say zero, so.
But if we're going to support them in just a nominal donation, probably.
Or 50 pay for the cover price?
Yeah, I guess even $200.
Well, didn't they last year also, okay, this is a 50th anniversary thing. Didn't they also ask last year for funding for another banquet? So this is a yearly thing?
I believe this might be the same ones, and it's I think that it's just that they came to us early.
Okay.
Same event.
And I think
Oh,
we
is
kind
it?
of said we had to look
Same
at
event.
it. It is the same.
But that's just got confusing then.
I would say Wayne Simon's involved with it and Wayne put a lot of time into it and put a lot of time on council, so it would be, nice to recognize him a little bit.
But like I say, are we opening a Pandora's box? I mean, so like you were pickleball, they're gonna want a banquet, and so should we support them? Frisbee, golf. If they want a banquet, do we support them? Where do we stop? Where do we
I
begin?
guess the only thing I'm looking at too, like it is 50 years that this organization's been in the town, Stephenville area, the Gibbons area. There's a lot of residents that have taken part in their program over the years. I think, I could make a motion that we would donate $200 in honor of 50 years. And I would put that forward right now and make that motion.
Okay, so you heard the motion by Councilor Derek House to donate $200 towards the Stephen Taekwondo 50th anniversary celebrations. We have a second. Second. Councillor Troy Duffy, second. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Contrary minded? Councillor Barrett? You want to vote?
Good if they
You
yes or
want to
no.
vote on the motion?
I got fine, no
Okay.
problem with it.
All right. All right, one,
Just one.
two.
That makes it different.
Motion carried. Under additional business, there's the issue of tenders and the standing offer for equipment materials, motion that was, or
Lack of a motion.
lack of a motion was brought forward last month during the meeting. Councillor, or I'm sorry, Councillor. Town Manager Justin Chin, do you want to speak to that?
Yeah, there was a public opening of the tenders for 2024. It was agreed unanimously to go with lowest bid, which was Boyd and Mungy at the time. In hindsight, after doing the minutes and such, it was brought to our attention that an actual motion was not made during the meeting. So an official motion has to be made to accept.
We have a motion to that effect.
So moved.
You heard the motion by Councillor Derek House that the tender offer for equipment and materials goes to Boyd and Bungie. Do we have a seconder? Seconded Councillor Paul Noser, or Councillor Mayor Paul Noser, my apologies. Was a major Paul Paw. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion carried. And we have a notice of discontinuance here from Regular Power and Clark. Again, I'll ask the town manager to speak to that.
Yeah, apparently there was a dispute, I guess, over some lands between Robert Regular Power Law, the Municipal Assessment Agency and the town of Kiffins. Robert Regular has since withdrawn from court proceedings on the matter.
Okay. This is in the public record. Do you need a motion or anything?
No, it's just it's in public record state that he has been withdrawn.
Okay, so
Yes,
it's been withdrawn.
Yeah.
Okay. We have a couple of proclamations here, several proclamations actually. Bear with me. I don't have my glasses this evening, so if there are mistakes, take me to task. The first proclamation is Purple Day for Epilepsy. So Purple Day for Epilepsy is proposed for March 26th, whereas Purple Day is a global effort to promote epilepsy awareness in countries around the world, and whereas Purple Day was founded by 9-year-old Cassidy Megan of Nova Scotia, who wanted to let people know if you have epilepsy, you are not alone. And whereas epilepsy is a chronic neurological disorder, which affects each person differently, estimated to affect more than 10,000 people in Newfoundland and Labrador, and over 300,000 people in Canada, and 50 million people worldwide. And whereas 1 in 10 persons will have at least one seizure during their lifetime, and whereas the public is often unable to recognize common seizure types and unable to respond with appropriate first aid, and whereas Purple Day will be celebrated on March 26th annually to increase understanding, reduce stigma, and improve the quality of life for people living with epilepsy throughout the country and globally. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Deputy Mayor Eric Nippert of the town of Kiffins, do hereby proclaim March 26th as Purple Day in an effort to raise awareness and understanding of epilepsy and to support all those who live with seizures each day. The next proclamation is for National 211 Day. Lettering is a little bit smaller, so this may be a little bit slower. Bear with me. National 211 Day, whereas every year on February the 11th, the United Way and 211s across Canada celebrate National 211 Day. 211 Day is a public awareness initiative for the award-winning 211 service that helps guide individuals and families through the complex network of human services by phone, online, live chat, and email. And whereas 211 is a free and confidential service available 24/7 in 170 plus languages by phone, and a broad database of programs and services can be found at nl.211.ca. The service is also available via chat and email. And whereas residents of Newfoundland and Labrador can contact 211 for information and referral to health services and mental health supports, income support and financial assistance, food banks, meal programs and grocery delivery, housing, health, and emergency shelter, support services for seniors and persons with disabilities, and more. And whereas 211 Newfoundland and Labrador will be using National 211 Day as an opportunity to promote the services by inviting municipalities to proclaim February the 11th as 211 Day, organizing building illuminations, distributing 211 promotional materials, and offering information sessions in both in person and virtually. Therefore, I, Deputy Mayor Eric Nippard, Deputy Mayor of the town of Kippens, do hereby proclaim Sunday, February 11th as 211 Day in the town of Kippens. Signed at the Town Hall on this day, the 8th of February, 2024. We also have a proclamation for Heritage Week. Heritage Day Week Proclamation 2024. Whereas the third Monday in February is recognized nationally as Heritage Day, and whereas Heritage Day and Heritage Week are a time to reflect on the achievements of past generations and to accept responsibility for protecting our heritage, and whereas our citizens should be encouraged to celebrate Newfoundland and Labrador's uniqueness and to rejoice in our heritage, and whereas in 2024, the residents of Newfoundland and Labrador will celebrate our rich and diverse heritage. Therefore, I, Deputy Mayor Eric Nippard, on behalf of the town of Kippens, do hereby proclaim Monday, February the 19th, 2024 as Heritage Day, and February the 19th to the 25th, 2024 as Heritage Week, and call upon all citizens to celebrate the richness of our past and the promise of our future. And last but certainly not least, we have a proclamation for Wear Red Canada Day. Whereas heart disease is the #1 killer of women worldwide and the leading cause of premature death for Canadian women, a fact unknown to many women and their healthcare providers. And whereas the Canadian Women's Heart Health Alliance is an organization of volunteer health professionals and patients working hard to improve women's heart health. And whereas Wear Red Canada Day is celebrated annually to raise awareness for all Canadians, but especially Canadian women, to be mindful, curious, and proactive in the management of their heart health and wellness. And whereas we want to see better prevention, diagnosis, and care, and fewer women dying prematurely from heart disease. Therefore, I, Eric Nippard, Deputy Mayor of the town of Kippens, do hereby proclaim February 13th, 2024, Wear Red Canada Day. And that's the end of the proclamations. And all fine things to consider. Next on the agenda, we have committee reports. I'll turn to the Finance Committee first.
Nothing other, we discussed about extending the deadline for paying the taxes. I don't think there was anything else we had.
The only other thing that's going to come shortly is our 2023 audit. Now that we finally got 2022 out of the way.
There you go. Okay, nothing to report from the HR committee. Councillor Brian has
Nothing from planning and development either.
Planning and development.
No, nothing from fire.
Nothing from the firefighters. And town manager Justin Chin.
Yeah, we had a couple of things here, just to let everybody know that I was in contact with Brant Tractor. Our new 624 wheel loader did ship from facilities in the United States January 28th. So it is en route to us. We're going retrofits to accept our existing snow gear. So we're pretty much still on track. We're hoping for mid to late February.
How long do we have the other one?
We had an open contract till the 1st of April, for the month of March.
Okay.
My understanding is go through Brant Tractor that because we didn't know exactly when and they didn't know exactly when they were going to be able to have our new loader ready.
Make it
Say that it'll be a seamless switch out. That when it is ready, we'll take ownership of the new loader. And they'll take the winter rental back.
And rental.
So we did sign for a 5-month lease just because it is classified as a winter lease. But because we were in the process of purchasing a piece of equipment from them, there'll be forgiveness.
Yeah,
we-
make
we
it
use
easier for the
some-
months that are left over.
So that's still on track. We are now 100% gas tax compliant. That all that, Councillor Baird did say that all the budgets are done, all the expenditure reports have been submitted to the gas tax secretariat. So any monies that are availed of or can be availed of us to Downtown and Kippens for appropriate infrastructure is available to us. So I've actually already sent off some emails to some consulting firms for preliminary talks.
How much
For
money is
proposed
it,
budget.
is in it for Kippens approximately, guys? Anybody?
$880,000.
Okay. So
Approximately.
we're looking at their well system.
We're looking at doing some upgrades and some retrofits to the well field system itself.
Yeah.
There will be an inspection done on the tank in the spring
Yeah.
anyway, but there was some past works done on part of the well field system.
Yeah.
There were recommendations from the consultants at that time that the rest of the well field system be done and reduced. Like we said, it's water. It's just number one thing all residents need. If there happens to be an influx within the industry and all that good stuff coming in, expansion into towns, number one requirement is going to be hookups down, that town can actually supply the amounts needed. So,
Now, we're talking about, getting an inspection on the tank and possible repairs. Is there a life for that tank?
not a specified life. The tanks can vary from different life expectancies, depending on what tanks are made, what the liners were made out of, how often inspections were done, if repairs were needed. There's some what's called a sacrificial anode, sometimes to help stop corrosions. There's numerous factors that determine life of a tank, which is why they usually recommend every 5 years to have it inspected.
So basically, we'll have to play that off, for repair or life, what's left.
Yeah, and that's why I said
Okay.
we're gonna have an inspection done from a certified consultant after winter.
Yeah.
They'll give their recommendation at that time to say, this boy, you might need this work, just not to work, or God forbid, this is why you need a new tank.
No, that's good news with the
right.
gas tax money.
So there's money's available,
While we're still on the topic of water, do we know if Stephenville has solved the problems that they had, when we were helping them out? For a long time?
I'm not sure offhand, but I haven't,
There's been no request.
there have been no requests since, and I haven't seen, I do subscribe to the email chains from the town of Stephenville as well.
Okay,
I haven't received or seen anything from saying any water conservations or any water issues or
okay.
anything of that nature. So hopefully they're back on track.
From our point of view, like out of curiosity, what capacity are we at for our water, do you know, like?
Not exact percentages wise, but I'd say we're in the good though. We're in the green. We're like, we got 4 wells as of right now. And from my understanding, other than one main well produces a lot of water, but we can pretty much, God forbid, lose a well and still suffice, not need to rely on another town.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking about like you were mentioning, that, we get an increase.
Yes, an increase in residential.
Where do we stand?
We're capacity to do that development.
Yeah, we're in a fairly good standpoint right now for normal growth.
Right.
Just in the event of a boom, if we want to call it that kind of stuff, especially industry. If there happens to be any industry come through that requires copious amounts of water, that could be something to look at, right? But so moving on from that, as also part of the water system, our SCADA system, which is our monitoring system for the water and well field system. Any and all upgrades for the electronic side of that have been completed. So there is full real-time monitoring of our well field systems, chlorination, pH levels, all that good stuff, with a live alarm dialer built into it. So that if any and all parameters go out of whack, there's a real-time indicator goes off, and public works employees or myself are made aware of it, and it can be addressed in a timely manner.
Maybe
And
some of that problem with the telephone system, or being able to notify the staff.
unfortunately, yes, the cell phone thing is
I
not
was gonna ask you about
the
that.
best, and that's the last thing on my update, is that the RFP from service providers to be provided to the government was due on January 29th. It was since extended to February 9th. Is the new anticipated, which is tomorrow. So we'll all wait until tomorrow to see if there happens to be another extension. Or if there actually will be a decision made.
So they put
Yes,
out
to
a
the
call,
cost.
a request for proposals to do something
Yes, the
that would
government,
enhance our cell coverage.
yes, the government themselves of, industry and energy have reached out to cell phone providers. To give them an estimated price cost of putting in a tower. And then from there, they will make a decision.
And other upgrades.
Yes, and other upgrades.
Was
for-
our
for
expression,
Our expression of interest was there,
it
it
accepted?
was accepted,
Okay,
it was
good.
logged with the government.
Yeah.
So while all they're doing in stages now is wait for, the tower providers themselves to come up with a cost estimate of what it will cost to install a tower plus upgrades in an undetermined area at this point.
Yeah.
There are no towns have been selected.
okay,
We're at preliminary stages, the government is merely looking to find out what the cost is gonna be.
Well,
And they've indicated up front that the cost will be a minimum of 50% on the provider themselves, which would be Bell, Telus, whoever.
Yeah.
10% to the community and to a maximum of 40%.
Yeah.
Provincial government.
Yeah, and I'd suggest what's happening is that providers would have to know the terrain and the locales in order to be able to make any kind of a best guess as
Yes.
to what they could do.
Yeah, so I believe
So
what,
They're gonna be looking at, whatever the list was of
Yeah.
expressions of interest. And then determining from there whether or not they can actually service those areas.
yes,
If you're looking at something on the south coast, are you able to get in there and put a tower up in a spot that doesn't require any kind of feed, microwave feed, or whatever the case may be in order to get system or
Yeah.
the service down? So,
we should be in a better position than many of the communities because, it's a pretty developed area and
We did have-
land and power and everything else would be readily available.
well, the two keywords that were in the proposal that was sent by government was unserviced and underserviced. So it depends, we would be what we would consider, I think, would be considered to be an underserviced.
Yeah.
We're not on notice, we do have service. So the question's gonna be, rating, when they start picking out, where do we sit? Like, what's the priority for our community? Hopefully high priority, hopefully, but, that's to be determined.
That's a long, long answer to a short question.
Yes.
And it had absolutely nothing to do with the question I asked.
what did you ask?
I was asking about the ability to be able to access the control of the water system and the alarm system by cell phone. Which
Oh,
they used to be able to do at one time.
yes, and you can still do it, it's gonna be based off of a Wi-Fi system, actually. So as long as whoever the user is at the time, providing, we got poor cell service as far as data is concerned.
Yeah.
But at least if somebody's got Wi-Fi, whether they will be at your house, whether you're here at the town office, place like that,
Through a hotspot.
it'll through a hotspot.
So
It can
it
be
saved
done.
them having to come in here to adjust. the
You can do
system.
certain things remotely. The remote system is more or less designed to notify an operator that something
Yeah,
has gone wrong. And after so long, you can get pretty good at determining what it was. If it's something that, my God, you gotta get her to bed at 3 o'clock in the morning to go deal with it, or I know that can wait till tomorrow. Type thing.
meanwhile, I like your answer, even though that had nothing to do.
But if we do get, improved cell service, then it makes it all the more
Yeah.
possible, because then you can access it through a cell phone
Yes.
readily, right?
Readily, yes.
Or your data connection through a
Yeah.
hotspot would be a lot more stable.
Sorry.
Other than that, the only other thing I'll make a note of, in the process now, I mean, we've had a good few days or best, the Public Works Department has been out around actually, clearing most of the fire hydrants around town so that they're readily available in case of any emergencies. We do have Public Works Departments doing it, dependent on weather. I mean, at any point in time, we got 125 hydrants in town. At any given time, I'm sure not all 125 of them may necessarily be readily uncovered and all that. So we just, as always, ask the residents, if you're out doing your driveway and you happen to have a snow blower and that stuff, and there happen to be a hydrant sitting out in front of your yard, we ask you kindly give her a couple of shots. It's literally 1 meter, 3 feet
Yeah.
around the hydrant is all that's required for
Did we
emergency
get,
rescues.
How far along did we get with the markers on? the
We got about
binder?
70%
Okay.
is where we're,
Cause I would think that that'd be important too. It means that if they're gonna use, I noticed they used a small loader to
Yes.
clear out some. And
Yep.
if they're readily marked, it makes it a lot easier to do
Yes.
snow clearing around those, right?
yes,
So-
definitely, and we made sure that it's in a, it's usually done in, if with the public works crowd, it's done in a tandem operation, one person in the piece of equipment, the other person goes around with a truck and a shovel. At least, you know, if the ones that aren't marked, they clean them around with a shovel first so the operator can clearly see where it's at.
Are all our hydrants GPS marked too?
No,
They're not off, okay.
not to my understanding, they're all marked, they're located with measurements on as-built, but I don't think they're readily on GPS. That is something that's
We're gonna-
slowly on the back burner
Yeah,
that we're trying to work towards. It's actually a fairly expensive venture.
Yeah.
To have that software, but it is on the table.
Okay.
Other than that, that's it for me.
Okay, well, thank you. Seeing as there's no further business, can I get a motion to adjourn the meeting? Oh, sorry,
Next meeting.
next meeting date. Yes. Thank you.
I just,
March 14th.
Well, what is it, this second
14th.
Thursday, is that what it is?
Yeah, second Thursday, March 14th.
Okay. The next meeting date for the council will be March 14th, 2024. Now,
6:30.
motion to adjourn by Councilor Derek House. We have a seconder. Councilor Earl Barrett.
You need a secondary.
Motion adjourned.
You like yourself,